It's been fun.
Oh, cool.
All
All right.
right. Hey everybody, we're here. I know we've been chatting up in the chat box over there, but we are now live.
Yeah, I
I've got
made
my
it.
coffee. Will, you got your coffee?
Yep. I got this thing, that's coffee warmer thing too. So I'm good to go because this thing right here just keeps it warm.
Oh,
I don't
that's
know. I
nice.
can't. There you go.
Oh,
So
yeah,
you
yeah,
just sit
yeah.
it. It's kind of like a hot plate type of thing. And
Well,
you know,
this every year at Starbucks. I buy the mug for $40, and then the entire
uh,
month of January I get it for free. But last January they stopped that because it was coming into COVID, and they couldn't you couldn't use your own mug at that point. So, but those mugs keep things so hot.
okay. I've seen
So
those.
yeah.
Yeah.
So first of all, thank you everybody for being here. Will, thank you so much for joining me. This is, what do we call this? Coffee, Tarot, and a conversation of opposites. And I'll tell you a little bit why I wanted to call it that. And we chatted beforehand. But so welcome everybody. Will, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah. Thanks
What's
for
going
having me.
on? Yeah.
Thanks for having me. I
So
appreciate the invite. It's nice to be on.
Yeah. So we had a little
Yeah.
trouble. We had a little
Yeah.
trouble
Yeah.
before. Mercury was my 1 o'clock client. I texted earlier and I said, "Yeah, I've got one more client." Well, connection was so bad. I said, "Let's just reschedule." I can't hear
Mm.
like every fifth word that she was saying. So that doesn't work so well when you're trying to do a tarot reading.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. And I think I'm still lagging a bit here, but I think it's okay.
So like
From my end,
like
it looks like it.
um so I can hear you good, like right away with lips
Mm.
moving, everything good. We'll see if everybody else. Yeah, someone said bye to Mercury retrograde.
Yeah.
So, so we've got,
Uh,
let's see, Nancy and oh my gosh, oh, can you hear me? It's fine. I was looking down at my iPad and your lips were moving. I was
mm.
like, wait, is he talking? But the
Oh, no.
iPad's on a lag. So
Okay. That's
we've
what
got
it
a
is.
couple moderators out there. So Nancy and the scene 818. Because last weekend, whew, we had somebody come on. They called Nancy a dirty word,
Oh, no.
but she blocked him.
Yeah, there's some crazy
So
people out there.
I know.
Oh, my
It was
goodness.
quite interesting. So I
Yeah.
can see the chat on my laptop, but then I can't. It's just like just the regular chat, but I have my iPad going because that's when I can see the crazy stuff sometimes because it doesn't always show up here on my eCam.
Okay.
So
And
so
I
anyway,
won't be able to see it, huh?
or you won't be able to, probably not
I don't
unless you open up
think so.
like
Unless
if
I open it
you
up on my phone.
like your phone or an iPad or something like that. That's what you can do.
Oh,
But
okay.
so first of all, Will, because I'm getting to know you as well, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, where you are, whatever you want to share.
Yeah, I mean, I have a YouTube channel, Atypical Tarot, and I've been on for about maybe 3 4 years, going on 4 years. I'm not really sure. I kind of lost track of like when I started it, but it's a tarot channel, and I kind of have a science background, so I infuse that in it, and it's something that I connect with, so I like to have that as a part of it. And I live in California, so we're on the opposite coast.
More opposite.
But yeah, yeah, that's one opposite there, huh? And I'm a teacher, so I've been teaching for, this will be my 15th year. And so high school chemistry, biology. I've taught some physics, but my degree is actually in biology. But I do like chemistry better, so I kind of gravitated towards that and focused on that for the majority of teaching. So other than that, see, I have a girlfriend, Corey. She's on my channel sometimes. She's like a part of the channel, and so you'll see her from time to time. And
Is she here today? Because I know she was.
she, I don't know if she's watching. You know what? Let me send her a message because I don't know.
I
I
haven't
didn't let her know.
I haven't seen her name pop up, but I know she was. She was talking when you were doing the Tarathon 2 weeks ago. Because that
Oh,
was
okay.
because at one point I'm like, okay, everybody, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Are we in Will's bedroom? Nobody was saying this, and she replied. She said, "I'll ask him. I'll let him know the question. It'll embarrass him." So so she, she was trying to. I said, "There's that embarrassed smile."
I'm surprised she's
Okay.
not on there. She loves to go through like the comment section or like any of the parts of my channel and just interact. And she's always there, so that's cool.
Well, and I'm sure most
Yeah,
people don't know who she is either, which is kind of funny.
yeah,
So
yeah,
she
yeah.
can kind of sneak it and be stealthy. So, and Nancy said she discovered Nancy Crone's intuition discovered you when you were on Simon's channel. So I know you
Uh,
did a duet or whatever with Simon at one point
yep,
from the Hermit's
yep,
Cave.
yep. That was a little while back. It was nice though. Yeah, we get along really well. Yeah, he's a real cool guy. I love his take on tarot. So it was just a lot of fun talking to him. We'll have to chat. I'll have to chat with him again soon. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
And I think probably like between, and I can't remember where I saw you. I think
I
you
did a
might have.
live, and I remember you were on my first live stream that I did with
Oh,
Corey.
okay.
You
Maybe.
actually mentioned the tarot of physics, and I bought
Yeah.
it.
Did you buy? Oh, you
Mhm.
could find
I
it.
did. I
It's
bought it, and I've been using it on my channel, and it's really worked.
it's
It's worked well.
bizarre,
Yep.
and
Oh yeah.
it's Corinne. Oh, what's her last name? It's her husband. She's written several books. She did the book on
Uh,
uh, tarot and astrology.
okay.
Corinne Kinner, maybe.
Yep.
But
That's what
it's
it
her
is. Yep.
yeah, yeah, it's her husband because I met both of them in TerraCon in Dallas in 2014. And I remember looking
Mhm.
at the deck going, I'm sorry, what? And I
Mhm.
love it. I'll probably never use it, but it was one of those where I was like, I got to support this because this is too beautiful.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh yeah. I always use it. Like when I make a video, I'll always look to that deck to see what kind of input I can get from it, and it's given me some like for some of the videos I've done. It's been really on point. So yeah, it's great. It's a
cool.
great addition to my channel. It fits right in.
Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah.
does. So yeah, first I want to ask a question of the chat. So Neem, Neem. I to this moment I still have not figured out who you are, and everybody's always like Neem. Oh, I think they left. So Nancy said yes, bye Neem. So I got to figure out who Neem is because Neem is all over the place, and I never figured out who that was.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen that one.
So, Zaneb, you can ask a tarot question. I doubt we're going to do readings, but you never know. But like, if you want to ask a question, we'll definitely propose it.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Yeah, definitely.
so it looks like it is more of a reading question. So Zaneb, if you're still here towards the end, maybe we'll do some readings at the end. We'll see. But first, I want to dive into like I of course, when I saw you 2 weeks ago, and I'm going to put the link to that Tarathon video you did, which was the periodic table and tarot. And
Hmm.
again, it was one of those where I was like, okay, what am I witnessing? What am I seeing here? And
Mm,
you scratch the surface on that. So I'm going to put that
mhm,
link down below. I tried to do it, but something weird happens when I go to my YouTube creator and I put links in there. It shortens them down to nothing. But
mhm.
I can do it on my phone. But this video, because it was live, disappeared somewhere, and I couldn't bring it back up on my
Oh, okay.
phone. So, oh,
Okay.
Corey's here. Is that Corey? Yeah. Is it
Cool.
Rosine?
Yeah, yeah. I think she might have just. Yep.
Is it? Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Rose. Yep. Yep. She's there.
Rose. So
Yep.
hi. So she's there. All right. So what was I gonna say? So yeah, so I'll put that link out there because it was really a cool video. Just
Oh, okay.
a neat connection. And but I went back and for some reason I watched you made coffee in your
Oh,
kitchen, of course, kitchen. I was like, you know what, we need to just have I thought I want to have a connection and see, and do a video together. And it's funny because I probably said this last year after Tarathon, because I did Tarathon last year, and I probably said this but didn't do anything about it. And I thought or said, I have this channel. I've got like 2.28K, that I built up over the years. And I don't do a lot with it, but I need to do more with it. And I thought I needed to get
mhm,
back to where I used to do interviews and live streams with people. And I thought, you know what, let me ask Will. And I texted you on Instagram. Well, then the funny thing is then is it Renee of the Tarot Magician? She's like, hey, I want you on my channel. I was like, okay. And then somebody else said, I want you on my podcast. So literally, it's like four popped up out of
Mhm.
the middle of nowhere. So setting that intention is really, really powerful.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
and then even somebody asked me to write an article for one of the magazines out there for like the December issue. So it was one of those where I was like, okay, I put it out there. I had the feeling, so let me just step up to it. So
Yeah,
then
that's what
here
you have
we
to
are.
do. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, and I've had a lot of fun doing a lot more different things on my channel too. So I kind of mix in doing the stuff that I started out doing and just kind of spreading it out so that there's a little bit more variety there. People can get to know me a little bit more, and it's not just one type of thing. So
yeah,
yeah, but I mean, it takes a little bit more time to be more creative and to set things up and kind of arrange things with other people. And but it's still fun getting to know people and talking to people. I've done um, several different. I've done a few more live streams, and I've also done some chats just on Zoom and put them on there. But yeah, I think that it's actually important because like not every day, you meet someone and you can talk tarot. I mean,
yeah,
if it's usually it's going to be on a Zoom chat or you know uh, through some sort of social media, but not really in person as much, especially in the area I live in. It's mostly like really Christian type of area, so you're not going to really
yeah.
find a lot of people to really
And
chat
I
like that.
and I work for a large hospital. I'm a fitness manager in a wellness center, but it's within a hospital that is Adventist based.
Oh,
So
okay.
so
Yep.
I kind of came out when I first started. I was like no shingle, no nothing. I was the intuitive messenger. Then I think I went with intuitive Mitchell. But then when I finally was kind of pushed out the closet tarot closet door, was I had a group of troll people who thought I was somebody else, and they started throwing me out there on Twitter, tagging VPs and heads of our organization. It was bizarre, but the funny thing was is nobody was even seeing those. But I remember I
Hmm.
called HR into my office. I said, I need you to come in here and look at something. And I said, look at what's going on. She goes, first of all, we don't care what you do outside of work, as long as you're not doing it here
Hmm.
at work. I
Hmm.
said, okay,
Yeah.
thank you. But she says, and I'm sorry you're going through that. But it was a really weird, bizarre moment. But it was one of those things where I know my fear of being out brought about that.
Hmm.
I mean, I know
Hmm.
because it was exactly what one of my biggest fears was. And it was one of
Hmm.
those where I was like, man, this is so good. I'm booted out the door. And now I never have issues like that because it's like I'm fully out. I don't care anymore. Fingers to the air. I'm like, you know, if what's supposed to happen is going to happen. But
Yeah.
I like to think of one of the first opposites because that's what we wanted to talk about. I have like a list of a lot of things. One of
Oh,
the
cool.
first
Okay.
one of the first opposites I was thinking of, and just now is I have a feeling you might produce your videos behind the scene like a lot more than I do, and maybe you can allude to that. They look nice, they look polished. You have the background fuzzed, faded, whatever it's called. I can't remember
Hmm.
faded. Um, I think you have like a really professional microphone, and it's one of those things where I'm such a minimalist that I was like. The fact that I've got both of our, and I've got Will Atypical Tarot, not your full name, but I have Mitchell Osborne and Will Atypical Tarot just below us. I'm like, that took a lot for me to put that up there. And I think this is where like I think my water influence as a Pisces comes in. I love that familiarity. I love the same path. Think of a river. It's going to go down the same path until you put a block in front of it. And then what is
uh,
that water going to do? It's going to find the freaking easiest path around it to keep going
yeah.
and then it's going to eventually wear it back down to where it was before.
Right,
So
right. Everybody has their thing, and I think that one of the things, one of the ways I see that you really, one of the things I admire about you is I don't feel like you really, have to change anything. I feel like your personality is what people focus on in the entire video. And, for me, it's a little bit more, I kind of add a little bit more to my videos, a little bit more cutaways and things for other people to look at because I'm a little bit more monotone. I'm a little bit more low key, and I'm just a different type of energy. And so I think it plays well with certain audiences that want a little bit more of a graphic feel, a little bit more of a aesthetic. type of thing. And so I try to add that. And I think that different people will gravitate towards, I mean, both in both cases, I think, because,
Yeah.
but depending on what they want to see, throughout the day. But the other thing is, I think it's fun. It's a little bit of a learning curve, but like once you figure out like what works for you as far as like, setting up your microphone, setting up, how you want the background and stuff like that, it's kind of it's kind of done after that. You figured it out. You're like, oh, okay, I get it now. And you don't have to change it too often. Every once in a while, I'll try to change some things up, but it's one of those things where I kind of like to add that as well. So I like to add science to my videos, but also learning about different, gear and things like that has always been exciting for me. It's always been kind of interesting for me. Like even when I teach in class, I'm more of one of those techie teachers that's usually I'm ahead of the game. Like, when we went online last year because of, the staying at home, no one going to school in person here. I was a little bit ahead. I was like, oh, I already know how to set up Google Classroom. And I've had flipped classroom, before they even thought about it. And so it's something that I'm always looking at. I'm always looking at, okay, well, what's the next thing that people are doing with that? But it's kind of a double-edged thing for me too, because I think there's just some big issues of technology. I think that, technology is great, but it's not, you can't put it in front of your spirituality. You can't put it in front of like the message that you want to get across. And so I think the main thing with trying to make my channel interesting is coming up with ideas and things for that are there for people to learn from. I think that as long as people are learning, all the other things, it doesn't really matter. But my thing is I never want to be just focused on, the setup. I want to make sure that, if I'm saying something, it's something that I feel like can be helpful to someone. So somewhere along in that message, there's something, I feel like that's like my main goal. But
I'm making notes as you're talking about another opposite. So, and
yeah.
it's funny because as I was thinking today too, I feel like as we're talking opposites and I use air quotes because I think what we're going to find out is things aren't really opposite and they probably will just be a different path to the same location.
That's true.
Yeah.
Hmm. That's
It's
true. I
like,
think that like, I think we're still able to get our message across. It's just in a different way. It's just a different way of presenting it, and it's still the meat of it's still there. you know.
and it's
Yeah.
my degree is in theater. And, one of the
No. Yeah.
things that drives me the most crazy, I was an actor for 21 years. And something that almost like makes me have heart palpitations is the thought of like, you say there's an event somewhere and they come in for the weekend and they set up this massive stage and all this stuff. And then come Monday, they take it down. I'm like, the thought of like all that work to put up that stuff just to take it back down just
Oh
bugs me
yeah.
so much. And
Oh
in
yeah.
theater, you build sets and you do all this stuff to later just burn it. And I hated working on the set. But where I found my niche, and as much as I love tarot, it's my jam within the world of spirituality stuff, and because I do animal communication and mindfulness and hypnosis. But in the world of like acting in theater, I stumbled into improv, and that was my thing because you're on stage with basically no script, minimal, it's just a blank stage. And then you
Hmm.
become the creation. And I remember thinking, first of all, anybody listening to the sound of my voice, I keep saying this. If you want to become a better reader, get involved in an improv troupe, whether you ever intend to perform or not. Because
Hmm.
I look back and see how it taught me how to get the out of my way, get the heck out of my own way, and just be in the present moment. Because basically in
Hmm.
improv, it's always yes and. So when someone says something, you basically in your mind are saying yes and let me help you with that. Because the moment you
Hmm.
say no or you deny what they said, you stop the scene. And that's what happens in tarot. A lot of times we're going through and in our minds we go, well, this doesn't make sense, or I don't think this is right. Boom, we stopped it. If you just keep going with the flow, then it does work. But yeah,
Yeah.
so it's that minimal. I used to say to people, I could live in a box. I'd probably want a little
Hmm.
bit more, but I'd be fine. Probably very bare minimum kind of stuff. I don't need a lot of stuff on the wall.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so go ahead.
Improv is I've always thought that was interesting. I probably would struggle with that, for a while. I mean, it would be something that would be really out of my comfort zone to just, you know, do something that's creative, like on the spot. You usually have to plan for it. I guess my idea of improv is that like when you just get on a stage and just uh, do whatever acting without like really a lot of practice, or is that
Yeah.
what that is? Oh wow, yeah,
Well, it's
that's
not to be
tough.
confused with the stand-up comedian. Those are the most rehearsed people in the world.
Hmm.
Improv, and the funny thing is improv is literally you're standing on stage with a group of people, one, two, three, and you're just creating scenes. Now, here's the
Mm,
beautiful thing that, I made a comment in the Terathon. I said, maybe this will be my next year Terathon. But within the realms of improv, you have structure, like a spread. So you
mhm,
basically want to have a BMET, a beginning, a middle, an end. And if you can throw a
mhm,
tag in there, a tagline, great. And also within that structure, you want CROW, CROW, which is you want to establish a character, develop the relationship between the other person. What's your objective in the scene, and where are you? So there's all those things that you just have to get in the back of your mind. You have to work on, work on, work on, so that every time you step up, those things are just naturally coming out. And then
mm,
there are also, like, you might do a scene called the alphabet scene where my first line has to start with the letter A, then your line has to start with B, then mine starts
mhm.
with C. So we're going back and forth through the alphabet, and you're just having a
Oh, okay.
scene using that structure, which, like I said, is very
Interesting.
similar. Think of a spread. I mean, I love freestyle, spread,
Mhm.
freestyle reading, but man, give me a good spread and I'm all over that.
Yeah, I did a while back. I took the video down, but I did do. There was a tag going around making a tarot story, and I was surprised. There were a lot of good stories, and I did
Yeah.
one, and it was really interesting how it came, how it just unfolded out of nowhere, and it made a lot of sense. Actually, it was a story, but it also kind of related to a lot of things too. And tarot. I think tarot would be a great way if you could get that in your head. Like if you want to do an improv, it'd be a great way to really, at least have some sort of images there, and then
Yeah.
go with that. That might be a starting point. I think if anybody's afraid to do that, because like for me, I just have nothing because I'm very visual, but to have some image in my head, like say I had the Queen of Swords in my head, and I don't know, the Tower card in my head or something like that. I could have that spread already in my head, and then do an improv from there.
Well, yeah,
Just make up that story.
that's what you do. Those become your prompts for the
Oh,
scene.
okay.
Who
Oh,
are you
okay.
in the scene? You're the Queen of Swords. What's it about? That's the Tower card.
Mhm.
What's the
Mm,
moral of the story? The Four of Coins. So then you fill in the blanks. But yeah,
cool.
it's phenomenal stuff. I've taught improv. I had an improv theater for 10 years, and I did even team building using it. It's pretty powerful and fun. So, more opposites. First of all, I actually want to ask you this. I can't remember. You were on another video that I watched, and the person said to you, either are you a witch or do you consider yourself a witch?
Yeah, that was the last one I did, and
Okay.
yeah. So, and I said I think so. I think I said I think so, or I said
Yeah.
yeah, and I said, well, the thing about it is, there's such a broad, concept. It's such a broad, that term means like, different people have different ideas of what that means. So I guess in my own way, I would say yes. And we continued talking about it, and I said, well, I would say yes, but the problem comes with when you deal with people that don't understand that that's such a broad thing, and they lump you into a category that you're like, wait a minute, no, that's not really. You're watching TV and you're looking at it from that perspective of the media, and that's not what I know, because I interact with people that are embracing that in different ways, embracing the term witch in different ways. And so I could some people might consider me, yes, yeah, he's into, you know this whole realm of witchcraft in a way. But then other people might say, no, 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 that's not what it is. He's
Yeah.
not. So it just depends on, I could say from my perspective, yeah, I think so. But then from other people, they might have more of a strict, kind of rigid
Yeah.
definition of what that means. So uh, for me to say it, it's like I can say it, but I always leave it open to, if you don't agree with me, and if you don't think that that's the case, then it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Yeah. If someone
Well,
says,
and
nah,
and I
nah.
And I want to say, hey, Kim, Abundant Life, another Tarathoner, Jonathan, Daly, another Tarathoner. If anybody else, I can't remember who else was a Tarathoner, but hello, everybody. Um,
Hello.
and it's funny because I've never studied anything witchcraft or pagan, but I know people who are pagans and witches who say, "Oh, you're basically one." And the only reason I think they were saying this because I love tarot, I read tarot. Hey Renee, and Renee was another one, the tarot magician. She's here from Tarot.
Cool.
And then just manifesting and intention setting, using
Mhm.
Lenormand and tarot cards for, what I guess I was doing. I didn't realize it was spell casting, using the images to
Mhm.
create. So
Mhm.
it's been really been fun. So, so in a short answer, do you think that you are, and I'm trying not to assume or guess or intuit it, but do you think you're a much more linear thinker?
Um, I guess I'm not really sure, like, what you mean. Like for
Here's
me, yeah, go
here's
ahead.
why I'll ask. So I'm one of those people that if I'm sitting around with like three or four people and we're having
Mhm.
12 conversations, I usually can tell more linear person because they'll be the one who, when the conversation dies down, they'll go, now, what you said 20 minutes ago, I'd like to go. They need to come back to that point where they lost the
Oh, okay, yeah,
conversation because
yeah.
they were down that path and they were thinking that.
Uh-huh.
And
Um, you know what? I don't know because like in the video, the last video, one of the videos I did, the coffee video, I said that sometimes when I'm talking to people, I jump around from different topics. I'll jump from place to place. So it I don't know. I think there are times when I, maybe will grab a hold of a thought or a concept and stick with that and want to continue with that and really try to just take that apart as much as possible. But then there's other times where I'm just more relaxed and I'll just talk about whatever, jump from topic to topic, and it's just I don't know. It just depends on the atmosphere or who I'm talking to. I don't know. I kind of feed off the energy of the other person a little bit.
and
But
so Corey
yeah.
said answer is no, and I'm trying to think of, was that to the linear part?
Oh, okay.
So I don't
Yeah,
know if that
I
was,
don't know.
or
I'd
she's
have to
talking
talk
to
to her about
somebody
that.
else.
I'd have to talk. I have to ask her about that because she knows. She knows me. She'll say that, and then I'll say, okay, well, why'd you say that? And she'll say, oh, okay, well, this, and I'll be like, you're right. Exactly. Yeah.
So some of the other things I was thinking about, like the opposites kind of a thing, was I think we kind of talked about, like, I like just black coffee with a little bit of raw sugar, and you're like you had to put the milk and cream or something in
Oh yeah, no, yeah, absolutely.
there.
Something must be in there. I mean, if I'm really tired and I know that I want coffee and I know I'm not going to be able to go out and get sugar or cream, I'm just like, it's late or whatever, then I will go ahead and, just have the coffee without anything. But, it's just because I just want to have coffee at the time. But if there's sugar and cream available, then yeah, I'm gonna go for it. Now like sugar, maybe not. I could probably do without it, but cream is like one of the most important parts of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
yeah.
Corey said that she's the linear one by a mile in the relationship. He said, but you're totally out of the box thinker. So there's my answer.
Mm.
Another
Yeah,
one,
I
because
am. I am more out of the box. So like that's where kind of the atypical whole tarot thing comes. It's like I'm always thinking of different things. So like even with my channel, it's like it'll evolve over time. Like I'll have it set a certain way, then I'm like, nah, I'm really quick to dismantle something and just go ahead and go with something else. And so that's one of the things. Like and I apologize because sometimes on my channel I'll mention, hey, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna start doing this, and I'll never do it. And it's not because I don't, I'm putting it off or procrastinating on it. It's just sometimes I'll just totally change it and scrap it. I'm good with just changing stuff and scrapping. And I think that's helped me as a teacher too sometimes because I don't hold on to those lesson plans that don't work or hold on to those things that don't work with teaching. I'll just, okay, they didn't like that, do something different, just scrap it, go with something else, or change the teaching style totally for this class, or just mix things up. And this group of kids likes something totally different from what I would like. I'm the type, like if I was in a classroom, I don't mind if the teacher stands there and just talks. I love that. But most of my students, they're like, we want to work in groups and we want to build something and make a mess. And I'm like, okay, if that's what you guys want to do, that's not what I prefer. But if you like that, go for it. I'm not going to stop you from your teaching, from your learning style. But for me, I'm just much more, I'll sit there. I can listen to someone, teach for hours, and I'll take notes, and I
Well,
can
this
focus on it. Right.
this is definitely an opposite because like my channel will be the exact same thing for like 3 years, and finally Spirit's like, you might want to change it up. Or even when I feel like it's time to change it up, my husband's like, oh, do we have to go eat at the Hangry Bison, which is this great burger place again tonight? I'm like, but we eat there every Friday night. Why would we not eat there again this Friday night? He's all air. So
Mm,
another one was, I'm sun sign Pisces. You're Aries, correct?
mhm,
And some could look at those as opposites, like I'm the last sign, you're the first sign. So it's
mhm.
almost like that beginning to that end. Um, we briefly talked a little bit about that, I think, but I think that and I did mention, like, I'm old versus you being young, and then you corrected me on your age. I won't say what you said,
Yeah.
but but I'll go back to I'm the old sign and you're the new sign. So there's some of that
Okay.
there, but I think I would love to look at two things in the final, like so many minutes. How how that we're different, if you will, which we've kind of almost said, we've come back to the same point. How the differences that we've maybe accumulated so far help us differently in reading tarot. Um,
Mhm.
and then also even the fact that we're probably, if I had to guess, I would probably say in chat room, this is where I'd love for you to chime in. You know, we're both men, we read tarot, that's a small percentage. And
Mhm.
when I go to conferences, I'm thinking maybe 15 or 20% are men. So
Mhm.
how are maybe our differences and the fact that we're men, how does that influence when we do readings for people or when we even teach tarot? How do you think that might influence our work?
I think that with yours, I think with your style, I think you were talking about improvisation and just really going with the flow of the reading. I think that that's a great quality that you bring to the table with how you do things. And I think it's more fluid, it flows well. And I think that it is I think it's something that people can really gravitate towards, your personality and just the way your energy kind of is infused with the reading. And that's something that, I mean, you can't really teach that. That's just a quality. And so I look at that and I think, wow, that's really cool. But then at the same time, I can look at the way I do things, and it's I think it's just a little bit more of a mysterious type of way that I approach it. And some people might gravitate towards that. They might like a little bit more of a, like, an edgy reading where it's a little bit more a little bit more mixture of symbols and kind of more of a riddle, but still deep in a way that they can take something away a little bit later and be like, huh, okay, I see how that piece fits together. Um, but I don't know if it's as concrete as yours. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But
Yeah,
I think that it helps to add variety to what people can choose from. I think that when people decide, what kind of reading that they want, they totally have a lot of options, and that's coming from, not just me and you, but other people that I watch on other channels, where they have just a whole another different approach. And it's like, wow, there's just so many different ways to tarot's like that. And that's one of the things I love about it, because it's, there's not this dogmatic kind of set way of really getting into readings. It just allows this freedom of being able to express what you want to express to whoever you're doing the reading for. And if it works, it works. But you're going to find those people that really do gravitate towards your style. And
yeah,
some will, some won't. But it's beautiful that there's so many different ways to approach it. So I think that even though personalities might be different, that there are comfort zones and things for people that are they're gonna like I said, they're gonna feel maybe more comfortable, or maybe they're gonna feel more comfortable with you or with me, or they may be looking for something different, and that's just it's just a beautiful thing to have that option. And I mean, different decks. I mean, like if you're talking about some people may not like the Thoth system. Some people may want to explore the Thoth system. Some people might want to just focus on RWS, but there's just so many different options, and so yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I find is really fun. I mean, it's just really fun to be able to not be so stuck in certain ways, and then you can always change it up if you want. So
yeah. And you
yeah.
led me into something I was going to say before we were done. But people, the link is already I posted. Your Toth. What is the title of it? Learning
Oh,
Toth.
the Thoth system.
Yes.
Learning the Thoth system.
So the Tarot Summer School, which is from Ethany Dawn, Toth Tarot System, explore and gain confidence reading a Kabbalistic system of tarot. So to register for Will's class, which it opens up Monday, right? Aren't you number two, or
Yeah,
are you number
yeah.
three?
So yeah, it opens Monday. So that reminds me, I have to do a video to kind of like
Yeah.
get it out there a little bit more. I'll probably do that tomorrow, and just because I didn't want to do it too far away, because I didn't want people to sign up and then be waiting, for the
I
class
know.
to
I'm
actually
I'm like
open.
I'm July
So
5th,
yeah,
so I'm like I'm
yeah,
way out there. So right now I'm just
yeah,
pushing everybody else's. But
yeah.
I have to be honest with you, Will. Corey put your age in the chat, so we all know you're
Oh,
46.
that's fine. That's fine.
She also said
Yeah.
you're She also said you're Benjamin Button, and it's not fair.
Oh, oh
So
my goodness.
with that in
That's
mind, like thinking of, I always, I know what I look like, and I'm reminded of what I look like by people's reactions to me and what they say about me. But when I really realized what my body was designed to look like, I mean, I'm 6'1". I've got this white hair now, and my hair's been pretty white and gray for many years. Like 30, like at 29, it was almost all the side. And as an actor, I used to color, but when I came home from school at 29 with my degree, I told my agent, I said, I'm coming in with no color in my hair. And she's like, oh my God, I love it. Now you can finally play the father image, because I had such a baby looking face.
Mhm.
And I remember going in Orlando, there's a film school called Full Sail Real World. And I would go and like audition for they'd do 10, 15-minute films as they learn. They treated us like kings and queens. It was amazing because they had to treat it like it was a real world experience. And you would go in for literally a day and shoot all day, and it was just wonderful. You didn't get paid, but I remember looking back and I was going, oh my God. And most of them were in their 20s, and I'd be like, I was cast as the police, then I was cast as a detective, then I was cast as the overbearing father, I was cast as the priest, and I started thinking, holy crap, they think I'm this authoritarian figure, and I'm so far. I'm like, I'm so far from that. I'm so easygoing. I'd drink coffee and read books and read tarot cards.
Mhm.
But it was so funny because I realized what people saw me as. And I also one day caught myself like looking in the mirror, and I looked at myself and I was like, oh my gosh, if I'm not like smiling, I kind of look like a mean asshole. And I remember thinking, so that's probably what I look like sometimes to them. So with that in mind, I used to go to like tarot circles and meetups and learn stuff like that. And I usually, you know, sorry to get political, but it was back in the day, it was a little easier to say what I'm about to say. Nowadays, people may take offense, but I'm going to still say it. I would walk in and I say, hi, my name is Mitch Osborne. I just want to let you know I'm not a police or a deacon in my church or a Republican. Um, I would just say,
Yeah,
I know what I look like, and I'm not any of those things. I'm not Mitt Romney's long lost brother or anything like that. And
yeah.
but then I realized as I started looking at like clientele that I got, and you mentioned like living in a very conservative area. I get a lot of conservative people who, when they walk out of my office or I hang up the virtual with them, I'm like, what the hell are they doing with me? They're literally going to church twice a week, and it was one of the things, but because I grew up, my background is Nazarene. So
Mhm.
because I grew up, well, not grew up, but because I went through that church for I know the Bible pretty well, and I can use those terminologies. And if someone's sitting in front of me, I'm that chameleon, that that water I can shape. But
Mhm.
you know, like I said, I kind of know what I look like, and then one time I sat in a mediumship circle, and she was kind of a well-known one from England, but nobody knew her over here. And she came to me, and she literally rolled her eyes. She went, "Oh God," and I was like, "What the fuck?" And she's like, "Oh," she goes, "You have been a monk and a priest so many times I can't even count." And all I said was, "I believe you. I believe." It was like, "I believe you," because I felt like that's like this burden on my back is still to be that spiritual teacher of some sort. But yeah, just bizarre.
No,
Um,
I mean, like when I saw you, I didn't think that. I thought because you know what? Because I think when I first saw you, when I saw your channel, you were smiling from the very beginning. So I was like, okay, I don't think I've ever seen a still shot of you and thought, well, that looks
yeah,
like a cop. Or
because I'm usually like, well, hello, welcome to,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like
which
no,
that's
no.
pretty much. I'm probably hyped up on caffeine. Well, I don't drink as much caffeine as everybody thinks I do, but I do enjoy it. Um,
Mhm,
but yeah, so I'm looking at the time. So um, we did talk a little bit about gay versus straight, water versus fire, introvert versus extrovert. And I
mhm.
think, again, a lot of it kind of brings us back to like, it gives us great perspective to do what we do as teachers of tarot, as readers of tarot. What what do you think? And I'll ask this: what do you think your biggest challenge has been of something that you might consider an opposite of yours or outside your comfort zone? And then conversely, what do you think has been like you said you love like the techie part, like when you everything went online, you're like, I'm ready for this. I've been planning for this for months. What was your when you stepped into tarot or started really teaching and doing more, what was the easy peasy thing and what was the thing that kind of challenged you the most? Those opposites.
Um, I think. Well, the challenge for me is because I'm an introvert, so I want to you have to be able to really connect with people when you're doing tarot. It's like if you want to do readings for people, you have to really have that personality that's saying, hey, I want to do a reading for you. And I'm not like, I'm not gonna, say no or I'm not closed off to that. You have to really be, I guess, people have to know you're available to do that. People have to know that. I mean, if you want to do readings for other people, I mean, a lot of people just do readings for themselves. But if you really want to share your knowledge of tarot, that's one thing. I think that comes a little bit easier for me because I can just go on my YouTube channel and kind of share and teach about it. But if you want to help, and I think that I mean, I feel like I have the ability to help people if they want a reading. I feel like I can definitely be a support in that way with my tarot style. And I think that there's a genuine part of me that wants to do that. But I'm not really. I don't know. I'm not really the type that really promotes myself much. Like I don't really like I'll do something like even with tarot summer school, like I'll promote it here and there, but it's an afterthought. It's like, oh, maybe I'll put this on Instagram, or oh, I'll say something about it. Like right now I'm thinking, oh yeah, I got to do that video promotion video for it. but
There
but
and
it
that's
but it's
another
a great
opposite.
course, but I'm just like, it's a great course, but I'm just kind of like, it's there. I'm not really, you know pushing for stuff like that. And I feel like I guess I should, because I mean, people would definitely benefit from it, but at the same time I'm just like, I did it, it's there.
Yeah.
Someone will find it, whoever needs to find it will find it. But
Yeah,
that's
because
been
I'm a
that's been a
I'm a
challenge for
social
me.
media whore. That's why I love technology. Um, and it's interesting. I'm trying to think. So Jonathan said love the stories, and that's something I don't know if that's my improv background or my communication as a theater person, but stories are often my way of communicating. And again,
Mm,
tarot is like this beautiful story.
Hmm.
And Corey's Corey's, Corey's Corey said, "Challenge, smile more." Um,
Yeah.
I'm sure she's referring to you. Um,
Yeah.
she said, "With
Yeah.
those
She told me
cheekbones."
that.
She said, "With those
Yeah. She. Yeah.
cheekbones, are you kidding?"
Yeah. She tells me that. I try to smile more, but it's just, it has to be natural. It's
But
like
let's,
if I push it, I don't know. I don't know if it comes off right. It's just kind of
yeah,
like,
and you've
can't
got to
people
be your,
tell?
it's got to be natural, right?
Yeah, it does, and I've done that a few times where I've made a video and I was like, okay, I'm gonna smile and be like, really like different on this video because people will like that, and I've never posted it. I looked at it and I was like, that's not me. Forget it, and it was gone. And
And I
I
and I've
just like I'm just like this is who I am.
and I've tried to do the opposite and be more serious, and I'm like, God, that's just not me. But
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
this is, and just think for a moment, you're going to reach a group of people that want someone that's going to feel in charge, taking control, delivering the message. Probably, for me, they're going to come to me if they want that entertainment and those stories that help
Mhm.
bring that message across. And then,
Yeah.
vice versa. So I want to ask, I'm keeping track of time. I, for me, one of the hard parts when I got started in this was, you know, I will put myself in an uncomfortable position just so nobody else is. So when I first
Mhm.
started, I really wanted the outcome to be good. I really wanted the client to feel comfortable, and it took me a long time to just get out of the way of that and not worry about it. Where now I know, because when I started personal training years ago, I was like, oh my God, I'm charging $50 for an hour. I'm not worthy of
Mhm.
this. And it took me a long time to realize I have something to offer for them. I'm showing up for them, and that alone is worth the money that I'm charging. So when I come into my office or someone shows up at my house or whatever, my goal is to be there 100% with them. And that gives me the ease of mind of what I'm doing from there forward. Now, here's something I want to ask you and kind of start to bring it to a close is a lot of readers, and I think this, tell me if you are the, I'm not as empathic as most. I am. I feel like I do, but I'm more clairaudient and clairvoyant, um, and I do feel, but it's not my main thing. And if I ever feel something, it's really serious. But when I
Mhm.
like today after my clients, when I'm done, I hang up, I walk away. I don't think about them anymore. And a
Mhm.
lot of readers have a hard time letting go of their clients. I can only, and one of my friends says, she always says, that's your superpower, that you can do this work and walk away from it. And because
Mhm.
I literally remember being in therapy in and out for 9 years, trying to, pray the gay away, et cetera, et cetera. But I remember looking at my therapist one time, I said, am I a cold, callous son of a bitch? And she goes, no, I don't think so. Because,
Mhm.
I remember thinking one time, God, if my entire family went down in an airplane, you know, I would get through it. I'd be okay. It would be horrible, And
Mhm.
my first response was actually, oh my God, then they wouldn't be my responsibility anymore. That was a weird thing. But absolutely, I would be devastated. I mean, it's not that I wouldn't, but again, if that's my superpower, like the fact that when I'm done with the client or whatever, I just shut it off. Probably
Wow.
over probably over 12 years, I've probably three clients I quote taken to bed with me. Like as I lay my head down that night, I'm still thinking about them and what's
Mhm.
going on. And I'm like, ooh, no, 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 no. I have to
Oh,
let this
okay.
go, you
Yeah,
know?
no. Yeah, that's an opposite for me. I'm a feeler. So like even when I was little, I didn't understand. So like I was
Mm,
young, like all up until and it wasn't until I got to college where I understood what was going on. Like when I was little, I felt people's energy like crazy, and I was very quiet because of it. I didn't want to interact. I didn't want people to talk to me because I would just like if they said something and if I felt their disappointment or if I felt if I felt something from them, if I sensed it from them, I would keep that with me all day. Um, I think it was one time my father said one thing to me and I never forgot it. And it stayed with me. And it actually affected me, a lot. Um, because I was already quiet, and this isn't to put my father down or anything like that, but I was already quiet and I was already like in this shell. And one day I got in the car with him, and I wanted to talk to him. I was like, I'm going to talk to my dad, and he told me, and he didn't know it. I think he was having a bad day, and he was like, could you stop talking? You're asking too many questions. And I was like, uh, this is the one time where I actually wanted to open up,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and that stayed with me forever. And then it kind of validated. It was like, okay, well, I guess I just shouldn't say anything to anybody. And so I stayed like in a shell, and so when I read tarot, when I pull the cards, I'll get, if I know I'm supposed to say something, I'll feel it. There's a certain feeling I'll get,
Mm,
like, once I get into like a certain emotional state, I know the reading's going well. I know that I'm saying the right thing. If I'm just talking, probably not. But there's a certain like emotional feel once I get to a certain point, and then that's when I'm really into the reading. Um, but no, yeah, I feel people's energy just all over the place, and so I just
wow. And
yeah,
I
like
never
even
would have
even like
thought that.
yeah, like even like right now talking to you, I'm just like, I know that I'm gonna have to decompress, because not that your energy is like hard on me or anything like that. It's just that it's just naturally how I am. I'm gonna have to like shut off like after this for a while, and it's because I'm not gonna, like, you'll probably turn this off and you'll be like, I'm gone. You're gonna be gone
Yeah.
doing your thing, right?
we're
But for
going
me,
we're
no,
going
I'll
to
be
see Corella. We're going to see Corella
yeah,
and have dinner.
exactly. But for me, no, I'll be thinking about it. I'll be thinking about like the conversation. I'll be like in my head for a while, and then later on,
I
it'll
never
go
would have
away.
thought that.
Oh no, 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 no. I that's one of the reasons why I guess I just come off as kind of closed off to a lot of people, because I think I am in a sense, because it's hard to kind of feel stuff. Um, yeah. I did a video on that, but I took that video down. It was a long time ago. I did a video about the trip that I went on with my coworkers. We went. It was like an overnight trip for like to another school to see their facility and stuff like that. But um, before the trip, I did a video about like how am I going to prepare for this, or how can you prepare for like being in the situations of groups of people that you don't know, and trying to help yourself feel more comfortable as an
Yeah.
empath. Yeah.
So Kim Abundant Life said it's that empath introvert light. They know all about it. And so Richie's here from Longman Tarot. So as we're kind of wrapping up, I want to say Longman Tarot, we are doing a live on the 27th at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be talking about breaking the fourth wall of tarot, because we're both theater people. So we're going to step into the cards a little bit. Let's see. I know next Saturday I'm doing like at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, like tarot and animals, but kind of working with them a little bit, but also power animal, totem animal, spirit animals. That's something I work a lot with, and just kind of like how to kind of work with that energy on your own, like starting if you don't have any resources, and then share some of the resources I have. So so you've got the Terra Summer School. People can get that. I put the link to get to your course. You can buy one course, you can buy all 12, but Will's course is in the notes below this, so you can check that out. Anything else
Mhm.
you got going on, Will, that you want to share with everybody?
No, I think that's it. I mean, just definitely, check out Tarot Summer School if that's something that you might be interested in. But I mean, there's a lot of great courses this year for that. So yeah,
I already
yeah.
listened to Sasha's. Oh my gosh, the
No,
nine
no.
keys, really, really good.
Hmm.
Because hers was the first one
Yeah,
to open up.
yeah, that just opened up, huh?
Yeah.
Because I think I saw I didn't watch it, but I saw the Instagram thing come up. Yep. Hmm.
Yes, it was a good
Yeah.
one. Definitely a good one. Because she basically talked about like the intuitive way coming in, the numerological way, which is what mine's about, every numerology for everyday life, but also how tarot
Mhm.
works in numerology and how numerology works in tarot. So yeah. So let's see who else we got out there. I know we had a lot. So also people, just go to YouTube and do hashtag Tarathon. You can do 2021 and you'll see there's at least 20, what, 24? There's 24 of them. That
I think so.
24,
Yeah.
or it's either 23 or 24, because I can't remember if they did the extra hour or not. But you can see all of us 2 weeks ago that did stuff. So we've got, Will did one. Kim from Abundant Life did one. Longman did one. Who else? They were on here. Renee. I know there's somebody. Jonathan. So a bunch of them. It was amazing. Simon from the Hermit's Cave put this all together, but then Jen took it over. What is Jen's Balance Tarot? Balance Tarot
It's my
took it over.
stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, so it's a beautiful, cool community of tarot people
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
So, well, Will, thank you so much for hanging with me, with us, everybody in the chat. Thank you. I didn't see any trolls. Did we get any trolls, Nancy? Or who else was there? Kim was one of the, I don't know, Kim, if you saw anything. So hopefully we didn't have any trolls. Last
Well,
week we,
that's okay. Yeah.
that's a good thing.
It
That's a good
happens.
thing.
But yeah, but thanks everybody for being here. Thanks again for having me on. It's nice. It's nice
Yeah.
chatting. Yeah, definitely.
It was a
Yeah.
blast. So, all right, well, I'm going to sign off, and you guys have an amazing day, night, weekend if you're watching live or in the replay. And check out both Atypical Tarot and mine, Intuitive Mitchell. And we'll see you somewhere out there on the interwebs.
Bye.
Bye.